continue on to section verses 17 through 19. Verse 17. I have therefore whereof I may glory through Jesus Christ in those things which pertain to God. Paul had written boldly to the Romans and was rather apologetic about it because he recognized that these saints in Rome probably did not need his instruction. In spite of this, however, he wrote with confidence to them. There is no personal assumption in this. He is a servant of Jesus Christ and is doing his will. It is important to see there is one thing that could never characterize a servant of God, and that is pride. We should never be officious, but rather take the position that we are merely serving the Lord Jesus Christ, and He is the one in charge. But verse 18. For I will not dare to speak of any of those things which Christ hath not brought by me, to make the Gentiles obedient by word and deed, through mighty signs and wonders by the power of the Spirit of God, so that from Jerusalem and around about unto Illyricum I have fully preached the gospel of Christ. Paul is saying something very important in this passage. If we are to understand Paul, and especially whether he or Peter founded the church in Rome, we must pay close attention to what he says here. Paul is saying, I will not take credit for the work of God that is being done by others, especially among the Gentiles. Of course, he couldn't take credit for what was accomplished on the day of Pentecost, which was the beginning of the ministry that resulted in the gospel going to the Gentiles. He couldn't take credit for the gospel going to the first Gentiles. It was Simon Peter who took the gospel to the home of Cornelius. Paul will speak only of those things which Christ wrought by him. He had a peculiar ministry as the apostle to the Gentiles. Through the mighty signs and wonders, which were the credentials of the apostles and the ministry in the early church, these were given to establish the church on the right foundation before the New Testament had been written. Paul speaks to the Ephesian believers, says that they are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets. Jesus Christ himself being the chief cornerstone, Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 20. He does not intend to say that the apostles are the foundation. There is no foundation but Christ. For other foundations can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ, 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 11. But the apostles are the ones who put down the foundation of Jesus Christ. That is what Paul is saying here. Paul says that the gospel of Christ had come through him unto Illyricum. Illyricum was a province of the Roman Empire next to Italy. It extended to the Adriatic Sea and the Danube River. Paul, you see, had preached by this time from Jerusalem to the province next to Rome. He had not quite reached Rome, by the way. We have no record of Paul's journey in this area. Undoubtedly, he went many places that are not detailed for us. There are those who believe that Paul went to Spain. I believe this epistle reveals that he did go to Spain, and I think he also went to Great Britain because he covered the Roman Empire, as we shall see. And that concludes this section. Now let's move on.